and I wanted to look at, was this because with this altercation, they were alone. They were alone, and Prince William grabbed him and threw him down onto the floor, threw Harry down onto the floor, and and then afterwards told him not to tell anyone, don't tell anyone about this. So this is what I want to look into, because you know that I hate to say it, but I'm going to say it, that's like an abuser. An abuser does that. An abuser waits until you're on your own. So there's no one that can see what's going on. There's no one that can witness what's happened, and they do attack you. They do attack you. Abusers attack you when you're alone, and also would say to you, "Don't tell anyone." That's a big sign. So I want to look into this. I'm not accusing anyone of being an abuser, and I know that I'm going to annoy people here, but why on earth why did William go to Knott's Cottage on his own, throw his brother down to the ground like that, shout at him, and then tell him, don't tell anyone about it. Don't tell anyone about this. Because that was violence. That was violence. So let's have a look at, and I wanted to look at, does he treat him, has he always treated him like a scapegoat? Someone to take out all his anger and angst and anxiety about life and project it onto his brother and blame his brother for, and then that makes him feel better. Like it's like, I feel better now. I've abused you, I've taken it out on you and passed this all on to you. That makes me feel better to actually carry on. So let's have a look here. Is Prince William treating Prince Harry as his whipping boy, or his scapegoat? And so let's have a look at this. I'm not accusing anyone of anything here. Just the facts. The facts are that, or what Harry has said, here. That he, is Prince William a bully boy? Is he a bully boy? So let's have a look. Now I get the weakness card here, the strength card in reverse. So that is someone at their weakest, or they feel quite weak, a coward. And the Ten of Cups is, this family, it's dysfunctional. I get the family card, the Ten of Cups in reverse. This is a dysfunctional family. So whenever this person feels weak, it's like they have to find someone. And again, it's toxic. There's a toxic card here, the Devil card. It's toxic. This family, the royal family, is dysfunctional. And the way this is coming across is whenever they feel a weakness, that they feel that they cannot continue, they take it out of what they appear to see as the weaker link in the family. So that would be Prince Harry. They see him as the fool. They keep him as the fool. They keep him as the one that's, the one that we can mock. The one that if we feel insecure, we can start to gossip and bitch and moan about Harry. And if we feel inadequate, we can pick holes in we can reach for the scapegoat to start to, pull that scapegoat apart, like a pack of wolves. And then when we finish devouring our target, then we can feel powerful and actually move on forward with our lives, feeling a lot more, a lot more kind of healthier. That's not healthy, is it? That's not healthy to target someone like that in the family, and that's not healthy at all, to make themselves feel stronger, that they've achieved more, that they are achieving. And this is something too that needs to be highlighted in society, because this goes on in the workplace, this goes on in the family. In fact, it's become more kind of prevalent that and it goes through generations. The parents show the child how to pick out the weakest link in the family and actually, rip them to pieces and devour them and mock them and make them look less than them, because they have to be, and I'm talking about Prince William here, is going to be the future king. So he has to be, in his head, more of an achiever, more powerful, more much more cleverer, much more adept at life than his brother. And to actually feel that way, to actually feel more powerful, does William have to put his brother down to make himself feel more powerful? So what these cards are saying so far is actually yes. Harry is the scapegoat, was the scapegoat, remains to be the scapegoat. Now he's been ostracized because he's come out of the shadows of being the scapegoat, and he's voicing that, look, this is the way that I've been treated. I've been treated like an idiot, like the fool, the clown. I was even told to dress like a Nazi to make myself look absolutely foolish. My naivety was used against me. Just because my older sibling was older than me, more educated than me, then made me look like less than. So I actually get with this reading, yes, with the toxic card, with the weakness card here, and with the dysfunctional card. I don't feel I need to do any more. I feel that because Harry is speaking out about this and he's written a book, let's have a look at that. Is Prince William actually shocked? Did he expect his brother, the weakest link, to actually speak up about narcissism, it is narcissism in a way, about sibling rivalry, about being chosen as like the scapegoat and then ostracized for actually, how dare you even say that we have treated you in that way? How dare you even say that we have targeted you for, or I'm getting we, so we're talking about Edward, his father, all the rest of the family. How dare you even say that we have done this to you? How dare you? So then we get this like separation, and the way that abusers, when they get caught out like this, when they get caught out like this, that they've actually, bullied one person here and made them look small to make themselves look bigger. When they get, when it's being pointed out like that, they ostracize and blame the victim, and they compound that abuse, and they ostracize that person to say, right, we're not having anything more to do with that scapegoat, because that scapegoat was there so that we could gossip, make stupid stories up, and make that person look absolutely like gutter level. So that makes us feel a lot more powerful. How dare that person try to take over and make us feel small? How dare they? So what they do is ostracize, and then this scapegoat is then, it appears to these bigger people here. If they were bigger, they'd admit what they've done and say, look, I'm sorry I treated you that way. I'm sorry, let's work this out. It's not always been like that. Let's sort this out. Let's be bigger. Let's be grown-ups. And I'm sorry, I'm sorry I abused you. I'm sorry that I abused you, and I'm sorry I did that to you. I'm sorry I raged at you. I'm sorry that I took all of this out on you in private, and that I was a coward, and that I could not deal with my own problems myself, so I had to project this onto you. I'm sorry I did that to you. But instead, they make themselves look bigger by making you look small, by ostracizing. And that's what they're doing to Prince Harry, is the royal family collecting together, collecting as a powerful force here to actually make Harry look even smaller. So this abuse continues. I don't see any reconciliation because of that, because they would have to admit that they are abusers, and they're not going to admit that they're abusers, so they'll keep on blaming. It's your fault, it's your fault, it's your fault, it's you, it's all your fault. And they'll keep on blaming the scapegoat. You can be a scapegoat to any family. You can, a scapegoat is the person that absorbs and takes all the blame for any kind of weakness that any of that group has, whether that's a group in the workplace, a group, family, in-laws. You can get chosen as the scapegoat. If the scapegoat speaks up, if the scapegoat, God forbid, rings the police and actually brings this to exposure, then it would be all-out war, basically. But this is what this is. Let's have a look at, are they going to reconcile? Is William going to recognise that he's been a bully towards his little brother? Or is he going to recognise that the reason why Harry is who he is because they scapegoated him, they pushed him out of the family, and that now he's speaking up about this, and they don't like it. But human beings are human, and they're not going to put up with that forever. They'll grow up, they'll become adults, and they'll speak out. And this is what's happened with Harry. So let's have a look here. Will there be a reconciliation? The Wheel, they would have to be such bigger people to reconcile with this. The Wheel is a new chapter. And I get it feels like William is still trapped in the royal family and the firm. So he has got to be part of that group. So there is, and also this card here, the Tower in reverse, is an inability to actually break free from this from these family members, if you understand. break free from the father. And we get the Lover's card is about jealousy, destruction, separation. It's not about lovers, it's about separation. I think the only way that they could actually, and that this is the way that William sees this, the only way that William would reconcile with his brother, but I don't think that would be, I don't feel he would admit, oh, look, I'm sorry, I was a big bully. I was a big bully. I was going through issues myself, and I don't know why I did that to you. I was developing myself. I know that I took a lot of things out of you. I know that I talked about you. I know that I gossiped about you. I know that I leaked a lot of horrific things about you. But is he going to do that? Is William going to? I don't think so. I don't think so. And the excuse that William is using is the only way that I'd reconcile with my brother is if he divorced that woman. This is what I'm getting here. If he divorced that woman, I would be like that. I would reconcile with my brother. He's using that. Yeah, I get the death card. There's a resistance to change. There's a lot of change, a lot of changes. With Prince William. What he's got to learn, how he's got to develop as future king after Charles. So there was a lot of changes, and the changes happened when Harry met. When all these changes that were put in place happened when Harry got involved with Meghan. The establishment, the firm, wanted to move things around and change people's positions, and then they were fighting for those positions. So there were lots and lots of changes, lots of anxiety, lots of things to deal with, children to deal with, family to deal with, as well as this to deal with, and I feel this was all frustration and anger, and who can we project this onto? But the person we can blame is the person who's married somebody from out of nowhere. I can blame it onto that. So it was a mixture of a lot of things, and I think this is what Harry was saying in the interviews, that about this altercation, that William was very frustrated and he wanted to take it out of someone. So he took it out of his brother, and this is an amalgamation of lots of things. The frustration from, you see, going way back, I feel, although William helped Harry and they were very close, Harry actually helped his brother William in a lot of ways too. I feel emotionally, and I think it said it in the interview that they got a code, and I predicted that a long time ago, about 3 years ago, that they had a code between them. Whenever we say this code, we will know what that means. So that actually, I did predict that was the case, that they had a code between them. And that's all gone by the way now. Why has it gone by the way? Why has it gone by the way? I think it's gone by the way because stupidity. I've got to make myself look like I'm coping, look stronger. And the way that I can make myself look stronger is by belittling someone else. making someone else look small is going to make me look stronger. Well, this kind of behavior is actually going to be highlighted going forward, because people are becoming more aware and spiritual and you know, evolving and understanding and educating about bullying, about being treated like a scapegoat. People are becoming educated about this and actually understanding. And it's usually the scapegoat that actually does the work, not the bullies, not the bullies, or the people that are projecting onto this weakest link, or so they feel is the weakest link. They don't realize that weakest link is going to expose them in the biggest way possible. No, they don't realize that. They don't realize that actually they're going to have to sit down and contemplate their behavior. Why did I do that? Why did I choose a person in the family to, you know, to pour all of my poison onto? Am I so rotten to the core that I have to do that to a member of my family or anyone that enters that if that scapegoat brings somebody into the family, then, you know, that in-law will then actually get all the poison too. Because we, you know, I'm talking like the perpetrator now. We need someone to pour this venom onto to make ourselves feel so much more relieved. So looking at this reading, it's certainly saying this is the case. You may disagree with that. You may this is coming through that William did actually bully him because he didn't know how to cope with his own what was going on in his own life. So he needed it to project onto someone. And I get the weakness card here is the Chariot, the weakness card. But what I was going to ask is he ever going to? No, it says here that not. You know, he's going to blame Megan. When they divorce, then there may be a chance. So that's the target now, is, you know, that woman, and this is actually bringing out the worst in the King Charles. This is bringing out the worst. He's trying to stay silent. In fact, this is like a fest of bully boys and Eton boys, and it's like a fest of and it's horrible. Actually, it's really horrible. It's like the survival of the fittest, and that's the way it is. They see Harry as a burden, and this burden is the scapegoat. This burden is the scapegoat. They see him as a burden. They're blaming everything onto him. He's a burden. He's a burden to the family. You know, when you get labelled as you are the burden to the family, that's actually admitting that you are the scapegoat to this family. You know, so we can blame you for everything. You know, if we feel angry about our own lives, we can blame it onto you because you're the burden. You're the burden. And also we have a failure to heal this. Yeah, the Queen of Cups in reverse is a failure to heal this, using manipulation to kind of you know, cover this crack, plaster over this crack here. It's like we're using manipulation to plaster over what's already the damage that's been done here. You know, the damage that's been done, that we've bullied you into submission, but you've not submitted, you've actually spoken out. Now we have to look at another manipulation here to actually cover up those cracks and sweep it under the carpet. And, just pointing out this person is a difficult person. Not that we are very emotionally insecure, that we need a scapegoat. We're so emotionally insecure. So what do emotionally secure people do? They pick out someone that they feel is going to be able to cope with this bullying and this horrendous kind of shaming. Nobody deserves that. Nobody deserves that. Nobody deserves to, every single fine detail of their emotions are picked apart. So the conclusion is that, oh, they're so sensitive. They're so sensitive. They're so insecure. They have to write a book. They have to expose it to the world of us, that it's our fault. And they have to dissect that. They have to dissect it and dissect it so they can kind of manipulate the whole thing. So yeah, this is never going to actually looking for this is never going to resolve and it's never going to end. Unfortunately, they've chosen Harry as their scapegoat, and he's going to stay there for the rest of his life until he's in his grave. In fact, that may actually send him to his grave. So get the Five of Swords, which is the Five of Swords is Harry wants to. This is the shame. This is the shame. You shamed me. You made me look stupid just to make yourself look big and powerful. You've done this for a long time. And now, I just want you to say sorry. And so this is like, this card here is, it says despair, remorse, regret that the regret here of actually treating Harry this way, the regret of treating him like a scapegoat, like they were not strong enough to deal with their own insecurities, that they had to pass it on to the weakest link. And I get here admitting to this. Would they ever admit to this? Would William be big enough to admit this? Would he sit down and say, let's kind of try to reconcile this, and just, I'm sorry that we pushed you out of the family. I'm sorry that you were never invited to family events when you should have been invited to family events. That was so wrong of us. That was so wrong of me. It was very weak of me to make myself look good and big in front of everybody else, to actually push you out like that, to ostracize you in that way, to make me look like the bigger person. In fact, it's done a 380, where it's actually now making William look weak, that he had to take those steps, and he cannot actually say that he did not do this, because there's proof that he has done this. He's left him out of family occasions. They have left him out of family occasions. I think there's many things that we don't know that they've done, just to put him in that position of scapegoat. Just, for no reason. Oh, that there may be a reason, but this is just so they can get their own venom out. They've got somebody to target and spew out their venom onto someone, and it just makes them feel more powerful. Bully boys. Will he ever admit to this? I think if he does, I think if they, if Charles sat down with William, Charles sat down with William and say that I did that to you, so you did that to your brother, and my father did that to me, and it went down the line, and it needs to stop. Um, I think if they were honest about this, if they had an honest interview, and not only would it help them, I think, talking about heads together, it would help the world actually to understand these things that happen in families. Um, if they got together and sat down and said, I did use my brother as like some kind of vessel to take all my crap out on. I did talk about him in a very venomous way. I did make him look like a piece of scum. I did it because it made me feel more powerful, but didn't realize what I was doing to that person. So, reconciliation, bury the hatchet of shaming to, choosing this person as a scapegoat and making them feel more powerful. So, is there a chance that this could is William big enough to actually do this? Embarrassment, this embarrassment that he's been exposed. I get this embarrassment here. There's going to be more talks on this. There's going to be more exposed on this. So I get the seven of wands in reverse. Seven of wands in reverse is anxiety, embarrassed about this, difficulty in making a decision of whether to actually bow the hatchet. And this card here is the Magician, abuse of power. An abuse of power. I'm trying to actually, reaching a stalemate of, I would have to admit that I did this, and I don't want to admit that I've done this. So they've reached a stalemate here between Harry and William. So as it stands, this is not going to be resolved. I think it would take a very big person to realise that they've been a bully boy to their brother for years. And it kind of, as they got older, this escalated into, into adult kind of, adult ostracizing and adult abuse. That's hard to, I guess that's hard to admit to, it's like, Harry, your naivety and you wearing your heart on your sleeve and being so affectionate and caring to everyone made you look the weakest link. And that's why we did what we did. That's what I'm getting here, okay. And I'm going to leave it there. I don't feel this rift is going to heal. For this rift to heal, I think William has got to admit that he did do what he did. And for this rift to heal is actually accepting him back into the family, having family kind of therapy. But I don't see that happening because I get William saying, I've got my own family now and children, and you've got your own family and children now. So that will be his excuse to say, I think you concentrate on your family, I'll concentrate on my family, and let's just leave it there. And I think that's how William will get out of this, is saying, I've got my own family, I've got my own concerns. And I think I do actually get him believing that too. I've got my own children. and actually negating, how Harry feels. And it's like he's saying to his brother, just get a grip and grow up, and stop this. Just leave it, let it go. Um, but when you actually go into adulthood with this scapegoating, um, this is what happens. This is what happens. It causes a huge wedge in the family, and it can never be resolved. But what will come from this, I feel, is that Harry will be left alone to get along with his life. Since he wrote this book, they're going to let him go to live his life. They're going to live their lives, and they're not going to, nothing will be. That be. I don't feel. I feel. Will this scapegoating stop? I think it will. I think this is going to be a big lesson um, to actually leave it and let it go. Leave it and let it go. You know, the person who wants to scapegoat someone is someone who's narcissistic, who does not want to reflect on their own issues, who refuses to see that they've got any flaws, who refuses to deal with it themselves, that they have to then blame outside sources for their issues. And this is what abusers do. They don't take blame for anything, and they blame outside sources. So they have to find somebody outside of themselves to project onto. And that's usually a scapegoat. They choose a scapegoat to project all of that venom onto, because they are narcissistic. They can't deal with it themselves. They don't want to. They don't want to accept their flaws. So anyway, that's my take on this. This is what I'm getting. I'm reading the cards. You may disagree with this. I'm just reading what the cards are saying here. This is saying yes, William could not cope in his situation, that he had to use somebody to actually vent and transfer all this frustration onto. Will it continue? No, it won't continue. I feel silently, quietly, William will throw down the gauntlet and just say, "Okay, I'm done. I won't. This won't happen again." And but it's too late. I think it's already happened. But he's not going to apologise. He's not going to. Will he apologise for that? No, I don't. He's already apologised for that. He's already apologised. That's what he'll say. Well, I apologised for that. At the time, I was big enough to say, and I apologise for what I did to you. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for watching, and bye for now. Bye-bye.